Hare Krishna. Today we are having one of the pioneers of Bhakti-vriksha and a stalwart Bhakti-vriksha preacher in Bangalore, His Grace Chaitanya Avatari Prabhu, with his good wife, Her Grace Rasamai Mataji, and His Grace Vaishnava Ananda Nitai Prabhu. So let's ask Chaitanya Avatari Prabhu, who is a celebrated Bhakti-vriksha preacher, about his personal life first. What's his material achievement and qualification? Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thanks for taking out some time to arrange this interview. From material point of view, I'm a risk management consultant. I always been working for top multinational companies in the world, and of course, in similar spirit that I'm glad that I'm working for the best international organization, which is ISKCON, and it goes well when we actually present Krishna conscious people to the educated world or corporated world, so-called. It's easier to connect with them and sort of start talking about Krishna conscious process. There's a lot of uptake when we say that we are representing some multinational company. So that's my one of the key step in terms of meeting some stranger to give them Krishna conscious process.
Interesting. So let me get on to Bhakti-vriksha questions now. How long have you been associated with Bhakti-vriksha?
I think I should consider myself being very lucky. I'm one of those first set of people who started Bhakti-vriksha preaching way back in 95-96. That's when the Bhakti-vriksha process was introduced by His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, and that time I was in Middle East, and I used to handle first bachelor's Bhakti-vriksha program, and later on, the Bhakti-vriksha grew many-fold from bachelor programs to Grihastha Bhakti-vriksha groups and various language groups in a short span. So from 95-96, I'm breathing in, breathing out Bhakti-vriksha.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, so as I understand, Vaishnava Ananda Nitai Prabhu has been developed under your care, and I would like to ask him, Prabhu, can you describe how the relationships between the devotees are within the groups?
Generally, the relationship within the community of devotees are very motivating, and be it any of the personal sadhana and follow-up mechanisms which help us right from my day one to just share my experience. Right from my day one, where I was pretty much reluctant towards spiritual life during my initial days, but they slowly gave me the taste of how to practice spiritual life, and gradually it helped me to take up more intensely, and it was a very wonderful experience, and it cultivated me to be a leader by all the Vaishnavas' mercy.
So, what is the secret of development of harmony within the members? Could you please reveal the secret?
I feel the prime secret behind the developing such an harmony within the member is the love and care. The amount of time what devotees spend, how much ever hard-hearted person you may be, your heart would tend to melt. The care is so intense.
Very well described. Well, so what has been your contribution in developing your group in the community?
One of the recent past, I initially started off with helping the community in the form of Bhakti-vriksha preaching. Way back, even they trained me as an intern, where I would also parallelly, as the Bhakti-vriksha is going, I would also parallelly take care of the children's and help the Bhakti-vriksha leaders so that the children doesn't interrupt the course of discussion. Then later on, I took up the service of a Bhakti-vriksha preacher as well. And whereas after that I could help training much more devotees. And the recent past, I also got an opportunity to get into the preaching style of online Bhakti-vriksha. So, which is something which inspired me, and also considering a traffic like Bangalore, it helps to handle a couple of more programs where your traveling time is factored in a much effective way.
This is a news for us. We would definitely like to know more about the online Bhakti-vriksha preaching. Prabhuji, can you please elaborate on this?
Online Bhakti-vriksha program. Except Prashad, we get everything on that. I think this is what we felt 4-5 years back when the traffic is become really a big hassle in Bangalore. Initially we thought we'll just cater to the Bangalore needs, and that's why we started online Bhakti-vrikshas for the people who are in the same vicinity, because they can easily save 3 to 4 hours. Traveling time is saved for them, so they can peacefully at their home, at the comfort of their home, they can nicely concentrate and just participate, because it's being very interactive. And that's when Avatari Prabhu was very specifically trained to handle this online Bhakti-vriksha program. So on weekends, typically if you see, his day starts from morning 6:30. Though we started Bangalore, but now we are global. He handles almost now 6-7 online Bhakti-vrikshas on all different time zones. So he is specialized in that, and he also parallelly, not only online Bhakti-vrikshas, he also takes care of I think 6 or 7 Bhakti-vrikshas under care in Bangalore, apart from doing online Bhakti-vrikshas. So Bhakti-vriksha today is on a virtual space.
Amazing, amazing. So I am not going to leave you for this. Please tell us exactly how do you conduct it? What are the tools that you utilize?
Okay. When it comes online, the technological tool that we utilize is the commonly known Skype. Through the Skype, we have the discussion, and all other aspect, like how Prabhu said, except Prashad, all the other aspect of Bhakti-vriksha is maintained as it is. Like we have the initial introductory session, then followed by an icebreaker. Followed by icebreaker is a discussion part where we read and then we discuss the content, and then we followed by one sharing of their realization and what's their take home and such stuffs like that. And we also gradually we also take them to one round of chanting, and online we do the chanting as well.
You do chanting online? Wonderful, amazing. Please tell us, what do you consider are the special achievements of your group on account of Bhakti-vriksha preaching in the community as compared to other preaching methods?
You want me to say? Yeah. Okay. So, to be very frank, I don't know about other methods of preaching. As Prabhu said, he was one of the very fortunate ones to be trained under His Holiness Jayapataka Swami in 95-96. So I can also say that in 96, when I was in Bangalore, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj also gave a demo about this Bhakti-vriksha preaching, and of course that time I was not married to Chaitanya Avatari Prabhu. So I was also separately trained under His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj's guidance. But then, of course, in Bangalore, I didn't have so much of opportunity to put it into practice. So when I got married to him and when we went to the Middle East, I was fortunate that I got a lot of opportunities to preach. at one point in time, I could say that I was handling 14 programs in a week. That means every day 2 programs, one in the morning and one in the evening. So I had the opportunity of handling 14 programs in a week, which is possible because I was not working. Of course, before marriage, I was working in a insurance company. I have done my master's in commerce, and I was working there. But then after I got married, I said, okay, I would want to take up preaching as the main thing, and I gave up my job. And it was really rewarding. So I can say that as a Bhakti-vriksha preaching has, personally, it has helped me a lot to mature in my spiritual life. And when I see, I can tell you that in one lifetime, we are getting the experience of 100 lifetimes. In the sense that when we counsel so many people who have different problems, so it means that all their experiences, I don't have to experience it personally, but then, through their experiences, and when we give them some solutions, we know that, so these are the different types of difficult situations or challenges that people face, and we are able to help them. So it's been very rewarding that way, that we are able to help many souls in their advancement in spiritual life.
Amazing. What is the mood of the leadership in Bhakti-vriksha?
As in the part which I learned, trying my best to practice, is the mode is to be a servant first. You be a servant, then Krishna would reward. If you demonstrate the qualities, then you would become eventually considered to be a leader, and still you remain to be a servant.
Well, so
I would also like to add here, as it says, we don't say Bhakti-vriksha leader, we say Bhakti-vriksha sevak. So we can see that, from day one, this service attitude is inculcated in the members also. So when it comes to say big programs, or when it comes to say any situations where we require devotees to come, we don't have to keep informing them, oh please tomorrow we have this, you please come for the service. We don't have to say that at all. Automatically everybody is volunteering, oh I would want to do this service, I would want to do this service. No, everyone is we are self-sufficient. There was never a time where we felt dearth of people where we need somebody to do the service. So that way, from day one, I can say that service attitude is inculcated, and this happens only when the leader, when this Bhakti-vriksha Sevak himself or herself has this service attitude. It's easier, it percolates down to the members also. And so it's very important, from day one, this service attitude is there.
In the recent past, 1.5 years back, I was implementing Bhakti-vriksha in one of the South India locations where I had a specific challenge. There is a temple, and the temple, a lot of congregation based, but the temple, there are no congregation used to come and support and serve the temple, in the temple. So they don't know what to do. So they were contemplating what could be a solution. Then they requested whether Bhakti-vriksha can help. So I spent initially some time training them, and I assisted saying that, what would be the best possible solution. Then we went ahead and implementing Bhakti-vriksha program for them. And the temple commander, anybody crosses the temple, he just grab them saying, then do some seva. But he never used to get somebody. So his main complaint is that, none of the congregation come for the service, the temple. So after the Bhakti-vriksha is implemented, within 3 months, there are so many devotees who wanting to come to the temple and do service. And after 3 months, the same devotee came to me and saying, Prabhu, I don't have service and there's so many devotees that come up now. But we don't know what to do.
We don't know how to engage them.
Engage those people, because there's so many services, all the services are taken up, and devotees are coming and asking me, give me more. So I don't know how to engage in the services. So do you have, your Bhakti-vriksha also teaches what other services are available. So then we have to sit and say that, what other services can do. There's so many things we discuss. It's completely a complete paradigm shift, if you ask me, in terms of how the devotees from the day one they get inspired to do some service, because that's nature, and all they require is that with love and care, if we just empower them, they are very happy and ready to do some service, whatever is being communicated to them. And that's been a pretty exciting experience in the recent past.
So we can see that how love and care, it's very nice to say the word love and care, but actually how this love and care happens. We always, when we follow up, we always check with them. It's not that we just, did you do your chant your rounds, did you read Prabhupada's books? No, it's not only that. How are you feeling today? How's your, how was your day today? So and then in case it's their birthday, then everybody calls them up, and somebody bakes a cake and gives them, and gives them a surprise, and somebody else gives a present, and then we all chant for them. We all so that way, when the love and care is actually when they experience that kind of love and care, they are ready to do anything for you. You don't have to ask them, okay, why don't you come and do? They say, oh, what can I do? Is that what is that kind of mood sets in. So when we say love and care, we should also know what is that love and care.
I'm sure everyone is going to benefit greatly from this interview. I can say this right at the beginning. So let me continue. Please describe the relationship between the servant leaders and the devotees, and also between different servant leaders themselves within your groups. Because you being the program director or supervising preacher or something like that, you must be having a lot of experience on this. So how these relationships are developed in Bhakti-vriksha, please tell us about it.
I think that the primary importance is that how you are actually, even though you reach a stage, you are how much you are on the ground level, how you are still on Bhakti-vriksha, because it's very easy to say that I'm a Bhakti-vriksha management, but it's very important. You need to constantly understand the requirement at the ground level, which means that you need to connect at all levels. It's not that you are breathing your Bhakti-vriksha or a sector leader, whatever you call, on their neck, behind their neck. But the point is that how you are on a constant basis, you are in touch with them, understanding their needs, because each Bhakti-vriksha is unique, because the people who are involved in a particular group is always going to be different. We can't say that all the Bhakti-vrikshas is standardized, so this is how it's going to work. So every Bhakti-vriksha is going to be different, because the people are going to be different, their thought process is going to be different. So we need to quickly align to that understanding. So unless we connect with the Bhakti-vriksha leader and how that uniqueness is being assessed by the immediate sector leader or somebody, so we need to have separate meetings with them to understand what's actually going on. So if we miss out that point, and if we say I have developed different structure, and I have a framework running effectively, so I'm going to give a book and they're going to follow that, it's an autopilot mode, and soon after that the flight is going to crash, because that's my experience, because you constantly require that level of communication with them, and to see that where they're going on, because it's at the end of the day it's a voluntary kind of a service everybody is accepted. That can continue to run only when we invest and continue to pour a lot of love and care. That's where you get in and ask them how about their work-life balance. Work-life balance, when they say work like Krishna conscious balance, not like just only the mundane material work and in the Krishna conscious life. So there are three elements to this. Your Krishna consciousness, your family life, then your material duty. So this is a big jugglery, right? So we need to achieve optimum, so that we get first priority to Krishna consciousness, so that your work and also your family life falls in place. So there's a lot amount of time. This is in Bhakti-vriksha, through this the tie through this regular communication with the different levels of leaders. What happens is that we can give them in a demonstrable way that how you manage and how you communicate and how you get the benefit by just following certain process, which is easy to communicate and easy to understand, so that they can see that Krishna consciousness is not a burden, because most of them they take up, because 4 types of people anyway surrender to the Lord. So first category and second category is the most common, distress and desire of wealth. They come afterwards, and what they want they get achieved, and they fizzle out. But in Bhakti-vriksha process, we need to, whatever way you come in, you need to start enjoying and relishing Krishna conscious process over a period of time. So that comes only when we start addressing these requirements in terms of what are the unique problems in each Bhakti-vriksha group is facing. It could be different. The same set of people, when they go to another location, they may have different problems. So this is very unique to Bhakti-vriksha. It's not like one standardization. I have the books and I have everywhere, whatever I roll out, it will be same. The same book will be perceived differently. The same topic will be perceived by a different person differently. So we need to see how this dynamic works and how we help the different leadership structure within the Bhakti-vriksha framework. That gives them more comfort in terms of what they are achieving, and they can continue to relish being part of a Bhakti-vriksha preacher or as a Krishna conscious devotee, because it gives them very nice secure feeling that I've been taken care. If that feeling is not there, at any level of Krishna consciousness you may have, we will always have a challenge.
Well, so how do you think we can convince others to take up Bhakti-vriksha preaching?
It's like eating the halwa. So I can describe the halwa, or I can describe it's made of wheat, and then there's sugar, and there's all these wonderful nuts in that, and so wonderful and all that. I can describe to you all these things, but unless you eat it and you taste it, you will not know what is the taste of halwa. So unless somebody actually practices Bhakti-vriksha and experiences that, then it's very difficult for them. Even how much ever I tell them what it is, it's very difficult to experience it. So it's best is to do it and then experience it.
Very well described, Mataji. Is Bhakti-vriksha an idea of a particular group, guru or something like that, or is it in compliance with the methodology designed by our past acharyas?
So if you see Nityananda Prabhu's way of preaching, so it's nicely described very nicely, I think, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, where when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sends him to preach in Bengal, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, he started along with all his associates, and then he used to travel. Then very beautiful pastime it is. And then he goes to one direction. Then they are very blissful and happy. And then when they enter one village, and then they say, okay, he converts the whole village into Krishna conscious, and then he leaves one of his preachers there so that he can assist them to become wonderful Vaishnavas. And then from there he goes to the next village. So we can see that how Nityananda Prabhu, each village by village, he converted them into Vaishnavas on the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then we can see that the same thing was adopted by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his, he called it Namahatta, marketplace of the holy name. So so when it is given by Nityananda Prabhu and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then of course if you see even the way how Srila Prabhupada, when he preached, when the guru, as a temple, it became little more, then he sent the grihasthas to another place and they started, so like that we can see it's the same concept what is Bhakti-vriksha is happening. But here it's more that we are concentrating more on like how Bhaktivinoda Thakur concentrated on the congregation. So here Bhakti-vriksha also, it concentrates more on the congregation, but it's not necessary that it can be used only by the congregation people. It's very useful even for the temple inmates, when new bhaktas, when they come, if they go through this Bhakti-vriksha process, it will really tremendously help them to grow in their Krishna consciousness.
And again, I think the point which I certainly would like to add is that it's not very sectarian, because there is a very nice resolution even in GBC that how the congregation development has to be systematically imparted, and how we through various outreach programs we just get a lot of new souls to the Krishna conscious process. So Bhakti-vriksha fits best to that, because it's not very heavy, because first we win them as friends, and gradually introduce them logically to various lesson plans, and over a period of time, without a new member knowing that how they are progressively advancing in Krishna consciousness. Over a period of time, they get to realize, I so much I've traveled so nicely. This whole journey is so blissful, and I've been nicely taken care, and I had a nice family feeling. So they have nothing to lose, and they have nothing to look back and see, whether I have taken the right thing or not. So when we present the Krishna consciousness in this way, so there is nothing sectarian saying, this is only for this particular Guru or Maharaj. It's like an ISKCON program, ISKCON organized run program. So I'm sure that this is global in nature, and it is acceptable, adoptable, and workable at any situation and any time, place, and circumstances, in my opinion.
If you see the goals of Bhakti-vriksha, you can see that it is in line with the goals of ISKCON. The main goal is to impart Krishna consciousness. So we can see that it is, so when the main goal is to impart Krishna consciousness, so the methodology, I think it should not be that it should be sectarian or anything. And I can also see that in my own life, see, when 22 years back when I came into Krishna consciousness, it was that I think that if we had this Bhakti-vriksha system, I would have actually advanced very quickly. So it was more so that people who are more interested, who are more inclined, on our own, we had to take the effort, and then we had to advance. Of course, we used to get the support, but then attention and support. But still, unless we showed that kind of interest, we couldn't have grown that much. So if I had not shown that much of interest, I think I would have left Krishna consciousness and gone, because nobody was there to actually help me and bind. But here now I can see that here in Bhakti-vriksha, we are actually giving individual attention to everyone, every soul. And then what happens is that even if that person does not come for a program, say a week or two, if he or she is not attending the Bhakti-vriksha program, immediately the members call them up, the Bhakti-vriksha Sevak calls them up. Oh Mataji, oh Prabhu, why didn't you come? We were missing you. Was there some reason? Like that, very personally we take care of them. And because of that, we can see that very quickly they are advancing. Within 2 or 3 years, they are ready for initiation. So we can see that it's a great boon actually. So it's not necessary that it has to be sectarian.
How much beneficial is Bhakti-vriksha to the newly joined devotees?
Yeah, I think he can give his own experience.
No, it helps us a lot, especially when you are new. Even when you are young, you have a lot of curiosity, and the Bhakti-vriksha gives you a philosophical insight of Krishna consciousness, especially to know who you are. It takes you right from there, and then it also helps gradually. There is always a scope when you are new that to easily fizzle out. So there is a system which guides and protects, which is a prime part of Bhakti-vriksha, by the mechanism of the Bhakti-vriksha Sevak, calls up and follows up, finds out, builds a friendly relationship with him or her, and gradually take him to maintain the attendance of Bhakti-vriksha for the new person to come regularly. So that love and care with the philosophical thoughts, which is the very prime secret for one's advancement.
I would also like to add here that the main thing which actually attracts and helps people to advance is the discussion part, where if you are sitting in a class, say in a Bhagavatam class, and it's a big group, and after one hour of Bhagavatam, then the speaker asks you have any questions. So by then there may be people who are very shy, who don't want to talk in a big group, and then also there may be people, maybe we may forget what are our doubts. So here what happens in this discussion, it happens that immediately you have an opportunity to share your concerns, your doubts get cleared. So you have everybody gets an equal opportunity to express, so which is very important in Bhakti-vriksha.
What are the scopes for a devotee who has completed Bhakti-vriksha?
I think it's like something, it's just like somebody is asking me, so after 20 years of Krishna consciousness, what are you going to do? I'm going to be Krishna conscious again, no doubt, but how and what process, what route I take, what interests I develop, it's purely up to me that what kind of an appetite I have to practice and pursue the path of bhakti. So similarly, Bhakti-vriksha gives a basic level understanding for any newcomer from zero level to a stage where they can decide how they want to go, decide whether they want to choose a guru, and how they want to move forward in their Krishna conscious process. So it's up to them. If you see, we give all the facilitation, Bhakti-vriksha specifically, through this 6 principles. We also give an exposure to 9 process of bhakti. So chanting, hearing, all 9 processes involved. So over a period of time, somebody would like to become a preacher, somebody would like to become a cook for the Lord and cook for the devotees. Somebody wants to become book distributors. Somebody wants to pursue to be engaged in developing and composing and directing dramas. So there's n number of opportunity for them to pursue keeping Krishna as the main focal. So if you ask me that if we can draw the horse to the water, and it's up to the horse how much water it want to drink, up to them. So we can develop, inspire them and enthuse them so that the sky is the limit in terms of in what direction they want to go in Krishna consciousness.
What is the most advantageous aspect of Bhakti-vriksha?
As he said, the most advantageous part is that personal care and flexibility built into this whole process, because it's a small group. The small group, we know it's like growing up as part of the family. So we can get all of them at a same pace. We can individually attend to their the desired requirements, and based on the level of members, you can increase their time, increase your time, so that we can ensure that all of them have a fair chance to grow in Krishna consciousness. So that's the best part of Bhakti-vriksha system, because there is very little opportunity for somebody to really drop out. And if they have basic level interest, we can nicely fan them up and get them to a level where they can, as I said earlier, they can pursue further, and they can choose their own path in further progressing in Krishna consciousness.
And here one more advantageous thing is that easily the whole family can be involved. The father, the mother, the children, the grandparents, everybody can be involved. So when the whole family is involved, then practicing of Krishna consciousness becomes very joyful. So I find this is the most advantageous part. So even if one person comes, say maybe sometimes the husband may come, or sometimes the wife may come, or sometimes the father may come, or sometimes the children come. But through them, the whole family gets affected. They positively they are affected, and they become Krishna conscious. So that way, we can see that families together they become Krishna conscious.
Even I think this is the most important advantage that you have mentioned. This was really useful, I'm sure. So how is the mood of a devotee towards the temple services who has undertaken Bhakti-vriksha? You generalize what is the mood of a member of Bhakti-vriksha towards temple service, just in few words.
I think they are ready made. It's up to the temple management to engage them the way it is meaningful, mutually beneficial.
Okay. How expensive is Bhakti-vriksha program?
Oh. But it is hardly anyway, it's very easy, and it's hardly it is anyway expensive. It's all you need to do is open the door, and you need to invite the Lord and devotees, and rest is taken care of. It's very, very, very cost effective.
All we need to do is just give one simple prasadam. Maybe it's one khichdi or maybe fruit salad, depending upon the time when we are having the Bhakti-vriksha. Maybe say if we are having it in the evening and if it runs into the night, so maybe again for devotees to go back and cook, it may be difficult. So we give them a simple khichdi. And then sometimes if we are having in the afternoon, say maybe for the ladies, generally ladies who are free, then they would want to have it in the afternoon. So then they would have their lunch and they come. So then we just give them one donna prasadam. So it's very, very cost effective, and anybody can afford it, and anybody can participate in this.
Mataji, are there any limitations in terms of gender or age or material qualifications or social status of the member of Bhakti-vriksha?
We see that Bhakti-vriksha caters to all age groups. We are having a separate Bhakti-vriksha for the teenagers and a separate Bhakti-vriksha for the middle-aged people, and then for the software engineers. And it doesn't matter what, from which rung or what you are from. All it needs is a heart to just participate in the program. That's it.
How effective are the Siksha levels and what are the benefits, Prabhuji?
I think this is one of the greatest advantages of Bhakti-vriksha system. So, when we have the lesson plans clearly defined for each of these Siksha levels, we really want to ensure that the members take up the Krishna conscious process in a very logical way, because the lesson plans designed on a weekly basis helps them to gradually progress in the Krishna conscious process. So at appropriate breaks, at appropriate level, they've been counseled to participate and commit from higher levels of Siksha, because everybody requires some kind of a certification. So with that in mind, that the certification program is also introduced, so that they're assured of a position, then they can further grow up. Because when you give a stage, I reach a stage, okay, I can pursue the next stage. If you are goalless, and obviously it's very difficult. So the Siksha programs helps anyone. And we have seen in my 18 years of Bhakti-vriksha experience that anybody, I had 85 or 90-year-old person also participating in Siksha, and also the school kids also participating in Siksha program, because they systematically want to progress. So that way I think it's a motivation for all sorts of people, all varieties of people in the society, and be it language or there's no barrier at all for Bhakti-vriksha and getting them through the Siksha program, which is pretty easy. Administering and monitoring a member's progress is very easy as we follow the stream of Siksha levels.
And also we have have the follow-up table in the user manual. So in each level, when the sevak has to inspire the members to increase their round, when they have to start doing Tulsi Puja, when they have to learn Narsimha Arati, when they have to learn the Samsara Dava, when they have to start reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and which book to read in what level. So everything we have given systematically in the user manual. So if you just follow that, and according to which week also, from which week the follow-up has to start, everything we have given. So when we do that systematically, it's very easy.
Well, so I would like to switch over to some personal questions now. What was the biggest personal challenge for you to take up leadership in Bhakti-vriksha?
I don't see any, for me at least, it's a natural transition for me from non-Bhakti-vriksha to Bhakti-vriksha, because I would say after Bhakti-vriksha, my Krishna conscious life has become more vibrant, more active, more participative, and I think I started enjoying Krishna consciousness more after my Bhakti-vriksha days, I would say, because it's more engagement for, my mind is engaged in taking care of the people, preaching. So my purification has become manifold. And as my wife was saying, probably if I had lifelong, I continued staying, I would have had realization of only my life. But now I can boldly say I have, thousands and thousands of realizations in my life in a short span of time. So I think I wouldn't say that was there any challenge in terms of accepting and adopting to Bhakti-vriksha preaching, because I thoroughly enjoy doing it, and I still, till the time I continue preaching, I will do, because you may say that it is the best form of preaching. But having said that, I'm not restricting saying that only Bhakti-vriksha is going to work, but we have different programs also, because the people's requirements are different. Sometimes they don't want an interactive program, so they want to listen to you. So we have catering to that crowd also. So rather than saying that only Bhakti-vriksha will work and none other programs will work, that is ridiculous. And I don't endorse that, because I often hear people saying that people who do Bhakti-vriksha, they are against other systems and so like that. So every system, at the end of the day, the objective of process is that to impart Krishna consciousness in a systematic way. So whichever is more effective, you can adopt and move forward. So even in our group, that there are some programs where we just give nice pastimes and narrate them some pastimes and give a class to inspire them. So then once they know that this is a kind of a message, they can learn much more faster in an interactive way. Either they just come and join the Bhakti-vriksha program, or they continue in the system. So they come for the weekend programs and they hear to the class, Bhagavatam class and stuff like that. They're very happy. They're also progressing, and they also routed through the Siksha program. Maybe their progress may be a little delayed, but nevertheless, they are also progressing. So we have opportunity for everyone to go through the process of Krishna consciousness, and every bit they should enjoy. That's the whole objective here. It's not like a burden. It's burden of responsibility.
And it's also not that we just have only Bhakti-vriksha also. Apart from Bhakti-vriksha, we have also seminars, like how you were saying, balancing family life, business or office life and Krishna conscious life. And then, icebreaker. So that is, icebreaker is, it's a seminar on insecurity, competition, envy, how to break that. So like that we have, and we have Grihastha seminars, we have Japa workshops, then we have Kirtan, I can't say Kirtan Mela, of course, we do have long Kirtans, and so different things we do have, so as along with Bhakti-vriksha.
Well, what is one of the biggest personal realization you gained doing this service?
It's very, very inspiring. A lot of realization from the day one. Like, but from the day one when I started as a member, it gives me an insight of knowledge. That's how it started. And then the care aspect. And it also gave me a confidence and empowerment which I received from the senior Vaishnavas, which also gave me an feeling that I can also do a Bhakti-vriksha program to become a leader. So it is a wonderful experience. It also supports me in the front of material front. When I go back to my work, the way how I look at the work with so much of confidence and handle any sort of challenges, it becomes much more easier. So it gives me a full insight of both the material and a spiritual success by just practicing Bhakti-vriksha.
Please share at least one story, an anecdote of a real transformation that happened in one of your BV members.
Well, I think in the recent past we have been talking to one of the devotee who's actually an interior decorator, and he is from Rajasthan. He's basically from the Marwadi community, and like in India, that each cluster has got their own rules and regulations, and but he did some we somehow came in contact with us, and he was really inspired, and gradually over a period of time we just we made him interested in doing some participate in some of the programs, and he's a very young, energetic, very very intelligent guy, and he's 24, 25, he's married and he had 2 children, but with a lot of those cultural pulls, he very smoothly transformed and accepted this Bhakti-vriksha process in a short span. And he, not only that, he sort of convinced his whole family, and sort of now in 1.5 years time, he actually really taken off, and he's taken up to organized preaching through for his whole community. So he's doing programs and inspiring all of them, because whatever you said, that if you speak the same language and if you are saying from the same race, we are supposed to work beyond the body, but still till the time you accept and understand the whole process, it helps, because anyway, soul saved is soul saved. So he is trying his best, and he is inspiring hundreds and hundreds of his community people, which is a real inspiration in the recent past. Like, there are so many of them, but this is one of the recent ones.
So I would want to narrate I could say it's a pastime actually. There was this family where they have two children. The younger one is 3 years old, and the elder one is 3 years old, and the younger one was going to be 1 year the next day. So it so happened for the younger one's birthday, the mother was preparing some fried items. So that time the younger one was sleeping, and the elder one was playing in the neighbor's house. Suddenly, I don't know what happened. The elder one, she came up home, and then the younger one also got up, and the elder one was very insistent that she wanted to sit on the kitchen counter where the mother was frying. And the mother, she couldn't manage both the children. She said okay, and she made the elder one sit on the kitchen counter, and the younger one was sitting down. The 3-year-old one was sitting on the kitchen counter, and then she insisted that she also wanted to put the thing in the oil. And then the mother said okay, and she gave the child. And when the child put it, 2 drops of oil, boiling oil, fell on the child's hand. And when the drop of oil fell on the child's hand, the child was very, she couldn't know how to manage it, and in that she touched the kadai, where the oil was boiling, and then she just lifted it because the kadai was so hot, and she lifted it. So what happened? The boiling oil fell on her, on half her face and the whole body, and this hand was burnt. And then the child who was sitting down, her whole face got burnt. It was really so gory. And then immediately the mother called up the father, and the father, wherever he was, he came immediately, and then he could see that how both the children were suffering. And they went from hospital to hospital, and none of the hospitals admitted them. And through one of the Bhakti-vriksha members' contact, I think they got into one private hospital, and immediately one of the the person who went there along with them, they called us up. And then we went there, and we could see that, the children, they were really, really suffering. The full face was burnt, one child, except the eyes, the whole face was, like it was burnt completely. And then the other child's body, and then the down face, and then the whole hand was completely burnt. It was cooked, I can say, in the boiling oil. It was cooked. And then when we saw, it was really so shocking. So all of us, we went there, and then 108 times very intensely we chanted Ugram Veera Mahavishnu. We chanted 108 times, and then Prabhu, he applied Mayapur Narsimhadev oil. He applied on both the children's wherever they were burnt. He just lightly he applied on them, and then we started chanting. And the younger one was she was unconscious. And then we started the Kirtan, Hare Krishna Kirtan in the hospital. The hospital, all the nurses, everyone, they were saying, what are you doing? But then we said, no, we have to do this, and we just told them that, and then we started singing very softly Kirtan. You don't believe it, the younger one in that unconscious state also, she started clapping her hands. And then we told them to play Prabhupada's Hare Krishna 24 hours in the hospital. And then the doctor had said that these children, the way they are burnt, it is almost 70% burns. They need to be in the hospital for almost at least 1 month, he said. And then they said, okay, anyway, if that is the case, if the children have to be safe, that's what it was. And then he said, okay. But then a miracle happened. After 2 days, when the doctor, he removed the bandages, he could see that most of the the wound was actually healed. And then he said, my God, I can't believe this, what happened? And then he said, even though the wound is healed, but the marks will be there, the scars will be there, because it's an oil wound. Then he said, but then you can take the children back. So the children were discharged from the hospital within 3 days. They were supposed to be discharged in 1 month, but they got discharged within 3 days. And then he was so happy. Then he called us up and asked what we need to do. I said, okay, maybe the doctor has given you some medicines, but please continue to apply Narsimhadev oil. And then the beauty part is that when they went back for a dressing again, a week or I think 10 days later, when the doctor removed the dressing, there was not a single trace of scar on the children's body, not even a single trace. And then they were so shocked. They said because in another week we were all supposed, as a yatra, we were supposed to travel to Mayapur to attend a big festival there. So when we all attended, when we all went there, and then everyone is shocked. I mean, not a single trace. We have the photos also when the children were burnt, and just 20 days after the burn, or maybe 1 month after the burn, when the children traveled to Mayapur, they took a photo in Mayapur in front of Rajapur Jagannath. Not a single trace. So it's exactly, the Narsingadev's mercy, which actually we can see how Dr. Narsingadev worked here. Narsingadev Bhagwan ki jai.
Hari Hari, that's a wonderful pastime as well as the best example to depict how Bhakti-vriksha system helps each other like a real family and in a sincere way to get them out of all the miserable conditions. Thank you very much, all of you. You have been very kind to have spent your valuable time with us and to have shared with us your valuable experience. And I am sure the preachers all over the world are going to benefit a lot from this nectar that has come out from this interview. Thank you once again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving us this wonderful opportunity to share our experiences. Hare Krishna.